welcome back to my channel. I am here with my husband, Aaron, and we are going to do an updated review on Coronado Springs. I had mentioned before that I had stayed there and I didn't really care for it. The theming just wasn't my cup of tea. We didn't have any bad experiences, but I just didn't really love it. But I had the opportunity to stay there again from December 25th to January 1st. And the rooms, they have undergone a massive refurbishment. So I wanted to do an updated review. Now, like I said, I didn't really care for the old style all that much. My husband actually really liked it though. Mm-hmm. You said you liked it better than Port Orleans, Riverside, or French Quarter, right?
I mean, it's not like drastically better, but I thought it was at least just as good as those.
In terms of, I mean, not like the rooms specifically, but like just the theming in general, you mean?
Yeah, I kind of like the theme actually. It reminds me of, and I think this is the intention, it reminds me of like a resort in Mexico.
Yes.
And we've stayed at resorts in Mexico that I really enjoyed and thought were very pretty, and I think it does a good job of kind
replicating,
of doing the same thing, yeah.
It is a very, very big resort though. It is very big. So, okay, first of all, I'll say we stayed in a preferred king bedroom. We were in Casitas Building 1. I thought the layout was extraordinarily confusing.
Of the resort overall.
Yes, the buildings. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's not a reason to not stay there.
No.
But, oh my gosh.
It's big, but they have signs on how to get everywhere. And when you get to the resort, they have a map waiting for you in your room. But yeah, I mean, if you're not paying attention to signs and you don't have a map, you'll definitely get lost.
I mean, I needed to see like an aerial. It was so confusing, you guys. I think we were there for like 4 days before I could get from the main building to our room without him saying like, nope, gotta turn here or something. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Well, there was a couple times early on where we didn't completely have it figured out and we went like a longer way than you needed to get to the
which makes it worse because now like I need to like do it a couple of times and then I'll remember, but now we've like done it different every time. Confused. Yeah.
Because you were like, hey, this isn't the way we went
well, the
last
building
time.
isn't like, if you're like looking at an aerial view, it's not like just a rectangle. No, it's like shaped like a swastika for some odd reason, which when you're on the outside is very confusing. So, very confusing, but that's not anything different than what we had before. So some of the differences. Now the room itself did not have any more carpet at all. It had like, I think it was like a laminate, but to look like hardwood floors. It looked very nice. It was kind of difficult to stretch on before and after a run because like hurts your knees. I didn't have like a yoga mat or anything. But again, that wasn't anything to like, I'm not gonna stay there because of it. So the biggest difference I would say was in the bathroom. So in the bathroom, they now had actual storage. Instead of just having like a closet bar hanging out in the open, they actually had like a wardrobe type situation. It was small, but it had doors that closed. And the sink area, and I have pictures that I took, the sink area actually had cabinets that closed to, you know, kind of hide your stuff, put your stuff away. The bathroom itself, like the toilet shower area, was by far the nicest of any moderate, and maybe even some of the deluxes, because it had a glass shower door. It didn't have a bathtub. It was just a shower, which is fine. But it had a really nice glass shower door. It was very, very nice. And then in the room itself, they updated the safe so that it's not one of those metal safes with like a big key. But it was electronic with the keypad, and it had a big desk that took up like an entire wall. It had a Keurig and a mini fridge, and it looked like it was an updated version of the mini fridges too, because it had the door on the front as opposed to the back door of the fridge. The door was clear. Is there anything I missed about the room that you would?
No, the room was awesome the way it was remodeled. Like compared to moderates, well, compared to the last time we were there and compared to other moderates. Like you said, it has a closet. Normally in a moderate room, like it's just that open bar, like
closet rod bar, not like open bar.
Yeah, that sounds way better. No, a closet, yeah, like just a rod to hang your clothes. I think they used to have a tub there where the shower was, because in all other moderates, there's a bathtub there. and they actually took out the bathtub and it was an open walk-in
Because the layout was the same. They didn't like redo the layout or anything.
Right. So they did a really good job with remodeling. I thought it looked awesome.
Oh, and the bath products in the shower, they had shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, like the big like communal bottles that everybody can use. And
I have a picture. I'll put
they
it in.
Refill. It's locked. I know like people were just absolutely up in arms when Disney announced they were going to do this, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what if somebody puts Nair in there?" You can't. It's locked. You can't access it.
I like it so much better anyway because then you don't have to fiddle with those little bottles when you're.
There was no fiddling. But then out by the sink, we had different bath products. I want to say, was there like aloe? There was lotion. There was something, mouthwash. There was mouthwash.
There was mouthwash. I used the mouthwash.
Then we had never had that before. So that was the room itself. I had requested a top floor room, non-adjoining, so not connecting to another room. We got first floor room and it was adjoining to some strangers. I prefer that just because I think it's quieter, and I am an extremely light sleeper, but we had no issues whatsoever.
It was quiet, yeah.
It was very quiet. And there was somebody in the next room. I heard them talking a couple of times, but it was never at night, and it was never like loud or unreasonable or by any means.
What were they talking about?
I don't know. I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Oh, that's good. So it was pretty quiet.
Yes. Our room faced the parking lot, which was fine because, as I've said in many videos, in the moderates and in the values, your rooms open to the outside. So there's an outdoor hallway that goes right past your door that everybody's using, and then the view is beyond that hallway. So if you have your windows open, everybody walking by is gonna be looking in your room, and that's really awkward. So I think most people probably keep their room, the curtains closed. We do. Right. We keep them closed pretty much all the time. Because
so the view doesn't really matter because you're going to keep the curtains closed most likely, unless
right.
I mean,
some people do. I mean, if
some people leave them open, but you can definitely, if you're walking past those rooms, you can definitely see
everything in the room.
We close our curtains. So when we're booking a value or moderate, I think what's far more important is our proximity to the main building, not the view. So
and or pool and bus stops. Think of those things.
Yeah, that too.
So there were a couple of bus stops at the hotel. We got on the bus at the main building and then got off.
That's stop number 2, I think it was.
I think
the first stop when you come back was called stop number 2.
Which, yeah.
But it was close enough. I don't know if it was close. It's probably further away than our than the main building was to our room, but
that's like, the last stop when
but that's the last stop, so it's like, let's just get off here.
Right. So yes, we were in Casitas building 1. They have several pools. They have a spa there and they have a fitness center, which we did not use either of those. We did use their pools.
I went in the fitness center, did you?
No.
Oh, yeah, I went in.
When did you go in?
When you were laying by the pool and I was looking for a bathroom. There's no bathroom in the fitness center.
So don't go there, I guess.
But the fitness center was nice.
They're doing quite a bit of construction there right now. They're building a restaurant in the middle of the lake. Is it Lake Delgado, I think is what it's called.
Is it?
So they're gonna have a restaurant there. They're working on.
Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be really cool.
Yes, and they're building a tower. And that is.
What's the tower called?
Gran Destino Tower.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're building this new tower, Gran Destino Tower. So there is some construction in areas you can't walk, and you can see there's like temporary scaffolding and stuff. I didn't think it was a big deal at all.
If you were staying in, there were some rooms that were pretty close to that construction site. Like basically you walk out of the room and there's like...
That's where we stayed last time.
Right. And there would be like the shims, or is that what they call them? Shims? I feel like I've heard that word. Scrims. What's a shim?
That's like...
It's something. It's
like in construction, like those little pieces of wood.
That's what it is. If we turned on comments, like everybody would tell us.
Yes, those rooms would be most affected.
And what section was that? That was the...
I would have to look and we can put it in. But it's important.
Casitas, Ranchos, and...
Cabanas, is that it? Am I making that up? Nope, that's yes, Cabanas. I'm not full of it. Okay, so they have Casitas, Rancheros and Cabanas.
Is it Rancheros or Ranchos? Ranchos.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. I've been saying Rancheros, but I like Rancheros better.
See, Rancheros is a thing too. That's a word that you didn't make up.
Doesn't it?
Is it like a flavor of
Dorito? Like a Cool Ranch Doritos? Rancheros!
Rancheros Doritos.
Oh, this is so disappointing. I really thought it was Rancheros. Fine, Ranchos. But I actually really liked that area the best. It was like Southwest Arizona-y. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
The area around where we were in Casitas was a little bit more like if you go to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, which is very nice, but it wasn't super, I didn't think it was nearly as themed. We weren't in the, maybe we can find some pictures of Cabanas too, but we just ran through there and it was not.
And that's where we stayed the last time.
Yes.
The rooms are I'm guessing all of the rooms are
the
going to
same.
get remodeled.
Yes.
And all the rooms the interiors of the rooms are the same. It's
right.
the exterior theming. That's
in terms of the interior decor, it really is not very Disney. We were there for like 4 days and I had commented on these pictures on the walls and I'm like, see, this is just kind of why I don't really care for Caribbean Beach, for Coronado Springs, because like, what are these pictures? It's like, they're like, are they supposed to be aliens? And like,
are you talking about the silhouettes?
In Area 51, right?
I think you said something about that and you're like, what is this?
Yes,
like,
I thought they were aliens and I thought it was supposed to be in is it Area 51 in New Mexico or California?
New Mexico.
Okay.
My gosh, we could be making like 50 mistakes, but you know what? We don't turn comments on. Keep it to yourself.
Okay, so, but this is where my mind was going. Like, I knew Area 51 is like desert somewhere, right? And this is where my mind went. I'm like, is this supposed to be like an Area 51 aliens thing? Like, how is that Disney? And I said something and he goes, those are the three caballeros. So it's silhouettes of Donald Duck and
wearing sombreros.
They're wearing sombreros, right? But when a duck silhouette with their head turned, wearing a sombrero looks a lot like an alien. So, not terribly Disney. I mean, that was really the only like Disney aspect in the room was those pictures.
You know, I think though there are a lot of resorts that are not terribly Disney.
Well, like, Disney's getting away from that.
Right, they're moving away from it and they're trying to be more subtle. Like the only room I think we've ever stayed at that was like, wow, this is so Disney was when we stayed at Riverside in the Royal Princess room.
And I didn't even think that was that Disney. They had like a picture of Princess Tiana. Oh, they did have a couple of princesses.
It looked pretty.
Royal guest room, by the way.
Yeah. What did I say?
Royal princess room.
Yeah, it wasn't because it's not just princess stuff.
Well, I mean,
it's not like girly, but well, I don't know. It was.
Point being, Disney really has gotten away from the garishly
in your face.
Right.
Disney
they're trying to
inside the rooms.
They're trying to make things like nicer. Don't worry. And I've had a lot of people like say, oh, we want a room that really feels like Disney. Like, what does that even mean? Do you want it like really in your face? I think your only option in that case is Art of Animation.
Art of Animation, or it depends on what you mean by that. Like one of the most Disney rooms we stayed at was at the Grand Floridian when you have a view of the castle and the fireworks. And
well, right, that was for our honeymoon, and that was 10 years ago. So now if you want that room, and you're gonna pay rack rate, it's over $1,000 a night. So you're gonna pay for it. And on top of that,
I want to stay in that room again.
And on top of that, though, it's not even obviously Disney because they have like hidden Mickeys in the carpets and things like that, and in the curtains. So it's still not like in your face for little kids. If that's what you're looking for, then that's Art of Animation, I think. Pop Century had some big things too, but yeah.
They had like the big Mickey phone.
Right. So Coronado isn't, I don't want to say it's less Disney than other resorts because it's just kind of what Disney's getting away from when they're refurbishing their hotels. And I think it's definitely still themed. So I do not agree when people think, oh, all their hotels are looking the same. Not at all. Go to, you can compare French Quarter to Coronado Springs and they're so different. So I don't think that at all. Main building. In terms of the main building, we ate at their food court a couple of times. What did you think?
I liked it. I thought the food court was great. I liked the breakfast. I had like this breakfast bowl.
Yeah, he's really into breakfast bowls.
Yeah, when I can get a breakfast bowl, I will get one. So it had like potatoes and eggs and like scrambled eggs and what else was in that? Some vegetables. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It was good. So they just have a lot of different options. It's like the other food courts at the other moderates and values, really, where they have different options at different stations, and there's a lot to choose from.
And they're kind of themed toward your hotel. So there's more like Mexican type food.
Spicy food. I think you had something that like you didn't think was going to be spicy that ended up being kind of spicy. Was that
could have been? I think that was my fault though when I ordered. But there's stuff for kids. I mean, every Disney hotel, it's meant for people with families. It's not like, oh, my kid's gonna have nothing to eat. No,
right.
They have like peanut butter and jelly at every hotel, whatever. We did eat, or we stopped by Maya Grill, which is a sit-down restaurant on New Year's Eve. Sit-down restaurant in the hotel. We had a not good experience. And we're like, okay, we're just gonna get like an appetizer or drink and dessert or something. I don't remember what we ended up doing, and then leave. I don't think it had anything to do with the hotel. I think our server was like new or flustered or something. And then like she dropped a tray of like margaritas right next to us. And then like the glass was sitting out, and
yeah, she was having a rough night.
And like, I'm like, nobody's cleaning this up. So I like took my menu and like at least scooted the glass to the side. People are walking over it.
This was literally, it was New Year's Eve and it was like
10 o'clock.
After 10 at night.
10:30.
So
we'll cut them some slack.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's going to be the experience every time you go there.
Oh no. My point,
you know what we do need to talk about
is hang on. My point is, while we did not have a great experience, I would still go back to that restaurant. I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, I'd never do this again.
So we went to the food court and we were craving ice cream.
Oh.
And so we walk up, they have an ice cream machine. And
I wanted hand scooped.
Right, and they only have soft serve. And
I've
so
never cared about this in my life.
Right.
Never in my life have I cared. I want hand scooped.
Yeah, and so already, like, we want a certain thing and we're craving it. It's like, it's soft serve, whatever. And then we're like, we really want ice cream. Like, I wanted kind of a lot of it. I don't know about you. But then they're like, okay, well.
Do you have a gallon of ice cream?
Right. So they're like, well, here are the dishes to put the ice cream in. And
I thought it was a lid.
I thought it was a stack of like soda lids like that you push the straw through.
I thought it was the lid for the ice cream container, but it was so shallow, I thought it was the lid for that.
So, oh man.
Thank God he had the sense to like pick one up and look at it, because I was just staring at it like, what am I supposed to do with this? I just don't even know.
I almost thought about going to get a tray and just putting like a big pile of ice cream on the tray. Like, this will not do.
I was so flummoxed and confused because I was expecting like a cup, maybe like yay tall, like yay wide.
As you would.
It was
reasonable request.
This tall. And then they weigh it, like you put how much you want in.
So
and
it
then
didn't weigh very much, it was cheap.
Stack it up. Oh God. And then you can put your toppings on it. Okay, so you stack your ice cream in like this little container, so it's like really tall and steep, and then they're like, oh, now I'll put my Oreo cookie crumbs on, and they just all fall off. That was an interesting experience.
Again, the food court was fine.
It was.
But if you go in there like really craving a lot of
hand-scooped ice cream.
Hand-scooped ice cream and a lot of it. You're not going to leave satisfied.
We did get two kinds of cake, I thought, that we shared. And
we did. You had, what was it?
I don't even, German chocolate. I'm sure one of them was chocolate. They were good. I remember.
One of them carrot?
Could have been, yes. Carrot and German chocolate, I think, were the two.
They were both good.
And they were both very good, yeah. Yeah, the ice cream, that was kind of a bit of a fiasco.
Now I want ice cream.
So, is there anything else we want to talk about? So we talked about the rooms.
If you're thinking about going to Disney World right now and you're thinking about staying at Coronado Springs, go. I would stay away from the cabanas right now because those are the closest to the construction that's going on, and that I think for some of those rooms that actually would really impact them. It was pretty close.
That's what I was gonna say. So the thing about the construction at Disney is you will hear noise during the day, but they do not make any noise at night from like dusk until dawn.
Right. It says on the website.
Yeah, and they say that there's not going to be any noise. So you don't have to worry about hearing all this construction in the middle of the night. That's not going to be an issue. The issue with Coronado right now, though, is so the cabanas are the closest to the construction. There are multiple buildings. You can always request a certain building. You can request a certain section. None of them are guaranteed unless you pay for a preferred room, and then you'll get a casitas building. Actually, are some of the cabanas preferred?
They might be, because they're not far from the main building, but maybe right now they're not considered preferred because of
I'll have to look. Yeah, I'll have to look into what they're doing now. Like I said, Rancheros is my favorite in terms of theming.
Ranchos.
Yes, Ranchos is my favorite in terms of theming. It is the furthest away though, and like I said, it is a big resort.
It's like across the lake.
Yeah, and you have to swim. We ran, and it was nice. It was
alligators and snakes in that area.
It was a nice hotel for running because you could do a pretty big loop, and there was paved trails and stuff like that. So that was pretty nice.
The official trail, I think, on the trail map was 0.9 miles.
Yeah.
For one lap.
So yeah, that was nice that we could do a couple of laps.
That's pretty. You're running around a lake.
Yeah.
I would stay there again.
I would too. I definitely had a better experience this time than I did last time. It's still not my favorite. I still prefer Riverside, but the rooms, since they remodeled, are so much nicer.
I hope that those rooms that we saw at Coronado Springs are a sign of things to come at other moderates and values.
And I think they are.
Because the way they did that remodel was awesome. Having an actual closet and having a shower instead of a tub. I don't know. I like that. I think most people do.
Well, for little kids though, I mean, people want to give them a bath. Having the glass door was nice, but...
It just looked nice. It looked nice, and it was a nice place to stay. Yeah.
And Disney is constantly remodeling their rooms and things like that. I know I don't know if they're totally done at Pop Century or not.
How long ago did we stay there and they were working on it? That was like
2 years ago.
Yeah, they have to be done.
I wouldn't say have to. They take forever to do anything.
I would.
Point being, Disney's always remodeling things, so we don't have the ability to like stay there as soon as something is remodeled to compare. If anybody wants to send us funds so that we can do that.
So do you want to start a GoFundMe?
Yes.
Send us to Disney World more often. Yeah. I'm sure that will be, people will sympathize with our cause.
People have GoFundMes for everything.
I know. I'm sure, yes, I'm sure people will think that that's a worthy cause and will feel very bad for us that we can't go to Disney World as many times a year as we would like.
I'm providing a public service. Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
There's not going to be a GoFundMe. Oh, you're serious?
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.